This episode of Previews World Weekly is brought to you by Hakes Auctions. Since 1967, Hakes has been the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles. To see the full list of items available for auction, visit Hakes.com. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house. Hakes Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 235 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at Hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting Hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 235 are July 26th through 27th. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I am one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen. I gave you a little pause there because like she's drinking, and I'm being joined by this week,
Canada Alex. What's up?
There you go.
I'm here in San Diego.
Now,
today.
why are you in San Diego?
There's like this thing going on. I don't know. I don't think it's very popular. It's called Comic Con.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Something like that. No, look, San Diego Comic Con is a thing. And actually, I realized when we were getting prepped for the show, this is the first full San Diego Comic Con since COVID struck, right?
It absolutely is. It is the first full post-COVID con.
Yeah, they missed a year, and
Good
it was
thing
the
they
first
didn't call it that.
post-COVID con.
Post-COVID con.
Post-COVID con. I guess what?
Yeah.
That's every convention now.
Yeah.
Like the year 2020 marked the first time that San Diego Comic Con had missed a year, and they tried to do that. They did a little thing, SDCC at home, right? And they're going to try to do something in November.
They did a mini one too, like a.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. My friends went to it though. It was like a little mini Comic Con.
Right around Thanksgiving
last year. Yeah.
So I don't know. You're walking in. I know it's like not even day. Well, today is day one. Does it look like the San Diego Comic Con of
day zero?
Right.
I don't know. I haven't been in there yet. I go in at 4:00, so 7:00 your time. That I'll be down over there after this. I'm gonna eat some actual food.
No,
so
important.
Yeah.
Look, that's a real thing.
All day.
San Diego Comic Con, like you will forget to eat. You will remember coffee, but you will forget to eat.
I've got espresso beans.
Yes. Yep.
I got Quest.
There you go. Yes.
Feel free to sponsor me. I have tuna packs, and then I have hydration packs too. And
there you go.
Packs, so you
See, smart.
Water.
Very smart.
Yeah.
No, I'm always the person who comes to the convention with like pre-packaged like smart food, and bottled water. I'm always that person. So I respect that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
So I know that like we might as well do the thing where we kind of predict what we might see or what we want to see at San Diego Comic Con.
Hopeful things.
Hopeful things.
Yeah.
You're the special guest. What are you hoping to see this year?
Well, honestly, the way Marvel's going, anything, I mean, it seems really silly to say because you'll know what I'm probably going to say here. I want to see anything X-Men coming forward.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see, I know there was some rumors about Margot Robbie, potentially coming into the Marvel Universe, into the X-Men universe.
Really?
And
interesting.
Yeah, there was something online about it. And people were like, no, she's Harley Quinn and don't go on that side, stay on that side.
Stay
with
us.
But my excitement in seeing that kind of rumor pop up is cool. Does that mean there's an X-Men movie coming? Because that's what I want.
Interesting. Oh, no. I just thought about that. Margot Robbie could be Sue Storm.
She could.
She could be Sue
Looks
Storm.
like,
Just throwing that out there. But you were thinking what?
yeah.
Maybe more Jean Grey or Emma Frost
No, I
or
don't know. Emma Frost. I
I think
think
Emma
she'd
Frost would
be
be cool. Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah. Emma
hmm
Frost would be really cool because she's got
Although,
like that poise and sass at the same time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'll give her credit. I'll give Margot Robbie credit. I've seen enough of her movies. I saw that film where she
Mhm.
was playing the Fox News anchor and was
Oh, I
thoroughly
haven't seen that one yet. I
yeah, but
haven't seen it. It's on my watch list.
it's very much not Harley Quinn. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, she could play Jean Grey. I'd be down for that. Me
Mhm.
personally, yeah, I am curious about the Fantastic Four. I feel like that's a little bit
Yes.
closer to reality
Mhm.
in terms of Marvel's release schedule. And also
Yeah.
with trepidation, Indiana Jones 5. If
Okay. See
yeah,
that? Yeah.
mhm.
I'm on
if
board for that.
if there's any small announcement, a sneak peek, a
I will
teaser for
text
Indiana
you.
Jones 5, okay, yeah, let me know. Let me
I will
know.
text you.
Let me know
I will
because
be live reporting
there
and
you
just
go.
texting Troy. Oh my
No,
God, it
absolutely.
happened.
Please do. No, Henry Jones Jr. is my boy, like for
Yeah.
sure. On the comic side, I just wanted to point out that Dynamite Comics is already making announcements.
Mhm.
They have a Vampirella trading card set that they announced. They're also
Oh,
doing a
cool.
universe of wushu martial arts fantasy comic books. So if you're familiar with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I think that would probably be the most popular
Mhm.
example in America. There's
Yeah.
of course, this is its own genre in other countries. But Dynamite is making an exclusive deal with a company to bring some of that stuff over. Also, they announced the Boys Omnibus, and I'm actually kind of excited for this. A deal with the Frazetta family. They're going to be releasing some Fire and Ice Prelude comics, which I think is kind of interesting. If you
Oh.
remember, you're an '80s kid like me, so you probably remember Ralph Bakshi and Frank Frazetta's Fire and Ice, the Rotoscope animated deal. In the same vein as the heavy metal movie. So things to look out for to definitely keep an eye out on Previews World's Twitter, Facebook, and various other social media for announcements that are dropping. I know for a
Yes.
fact we got one about Todd McFarlane and Ozzy Osbourne this morning that I will
Yes.
definitely pass on to people. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But all
I'm
right.
hoping to see Todd this week too.
Yeah, there you go. You said Todd. You on a first name basis, Todd.
I mean, we're like best friends,
They're like best
so
friends. I mean, at this point, you've
yeah.
interviewed him what, like 3 times?
Yeah, 2 officially, and
hmm
then just hung out with him the 3rd time. The
hmm
very first time was my amazing crying story,
No, you're amazing crying
which
story.
I see my husband is in the chat, so he'll be like, "Yep, I have video."
I think you told me
Yeah,
that story before. I think you told
yep,
me that story.
yeah, I
Uh,
cried
r-
like a wee baby.
like a wee baby. Hey,
Like,
look, Todd,
yeah,
the Todd father might do that to people.
yes.
All right, let's get into what's at comic shops because it is
Yes.
Wednesday. It is not just San Diego Comic Con day one. It is Wednesday, which means it's your local comic shops day for new releases. Canon Doll X has her pick. I've got my pick, so let's jump
Mhm.
into it. All right, Natasha, since you're the extra special guest, why don't you go first?
So, speaking of Todd McFarlane,
hmm
I picked a McFarlane Toys piece.
Okay.
Of course, I go with the toy side of things. I picked
Mm-hmm.
this awesome Batman black and white statue.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I love about Todd McFarlane and McFarlane Toys, something I even said before, like I think in one of our interviews, was you could go out all day long and like do awesome bodies for statues or just action figures or whatever. But if you get the face wrong, the
Yeah.
whole rest of it was the waste.
Toss it
And
out.
that Batman, his face is just so cool, so
Mm-hmm.
like so much character in just that alone. And then you just
Yeah.
drape it down, and it looks like plucked from a comic book, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't go wrong with a statue like that. I love it. So that
Absolutely.
is my pick this week,
I think that
and
particular
it's
one, and it's Batman.
Batman.
It's Batman.
It's Batman.
Um, I actually think that particular one is based off of Brian Boland's Killing Joke. So yeah, like, and
So
you can kind
cool.
of see that looking at. That's what I love about the
Mhm.
black and white ones. You get to
Yeah.
get these 3D real life versions of every different artist's interpretation of this character. They did a Mike Mignola
Yes.
one. They've done, of course, they're doing a Brian Boland, Jim Lee, Brian Azzarello. I'm not Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Rizzo, like some really cool ones. So yeah, awesome pick.
Yeah.
My pick this week. So I just picked this up this weekend, and I knew it was coming.
Oh.
I knew it was coming, and I was like, I got to
Oh,
go
look at
get
that
this.
cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover. That's Nate. That's Nate Bradshaw. Hold on, I'm over here. Nate Bradshaw
Oh, it
is
wraps around. I love it.
is the absolute it's the absolute poo in the good way. Um, so look, so I love Peter David, right? Love Peter David. I go back, him and I go back to Incredible Hulk and X Factor in the '90s. Always been a big fan of his work, and he's probably one of my favorite comic book writers. And he's been playing the hits lately over at Marvel. Like he's been doing like a nice little lineup of I hate to say it, but member berries, type of stuff, right? So he did Maestro, which of course is the Hulk Future and Perfect storyline. He's
Mhm.
about to drop a Captain Marvel comic next week, which actually might be my pick next week too. He returned to Spider-Man 2099, which I also thought was cool.
Mhm.
They just announced that Joe Fixit, another Hulk book that calls back to his '90s run, but this one. The new Fantastic Four, the second issue is in comic shops this week. And yeah, if you're familiar with this, if you're a '90s kid, '80s/90s kid like me, you know of the two issues of Fantastic Four where Hulk, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine temporarily became the Fantastic Four. And David revisiting that story and doing an extension of that story and taking all these characters to Las Vegas, which is actually pretty cool. Alan Robinson is the artist. It's not Art Adams, and I love me
Mhm.
some. I talked about Art Adams on the show so much.
Yeah.
I love Art Adams' artwork. Not Art Adams, but his art style is complementary, which is actually
Mhm.
pretty good, which is a nice bonus. Nick Bradshaw cover, just really cool stuff. It's a fun time. Those of you who I know, some people are like, I miss the old Marvel. We have some people, of course, are always like, oh, not, Miss Marvel, not for me. The new Captain Marvel, not for me. I want the old Marvel back. Well,
Cool. Go back and read them then.
you can go to your local comic shop and get some new old Marvel. So there you
Mm.
go. Or you can read your back issues, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those are not going anywhere, guys. So that is my pick for this week. So you know what, Natasha? We're about to see double real quick. All right. All right. So Natasha, every week on Previews World's feed, does a rundown of the new toys that are hitting your local comic shop, in addition to her show DST Unbox, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So check this out. Here's what's at comic shops at the toy aisle.
Natasha here to give you a look inside the Previews toy chest. Let's find out what's available at comic shops for the week of July 20th, 2022. That's not all. Before heading to your local comic shop, be sure to check out previewsworld.com/new releases. There you'll find a complete rundown of everything a toy collector could possibly want.
All right, cool. How's it feel to see your face? How does it feel to see yourself on screen again, Natasha? That was like several months ago, wasn't it?
No, it was
What was the recent one?
3 weeks ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I
You
don't
guys
know.
reshot those. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. We shoot them all the time. Usually we stockpile, but we've been doing them like once a month
Okay.
now.
All right. So that's like,
Because
fresh out the
I'm
Ziploc,
shooting.
Natasha.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. I was like, I could put the little eye things on too.
There
Match
you
up.
go. Oh, yeah. Switch your glasses.
Yeah,
That's right.
my.
You switcheroos. I like those. No, I still like.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm
these
actually
ones are
going to jump on
awesome.
those. Those are
These are
great,
so
actually.
good. Yeah.
Oh, those are cool. They're like comic
Yeah.
fonts.
Yes.
Little
Yeah.
anime, onomatopoeia. I can never say that word, but yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, you can catch Natasha every single week, of course, on DST Unboxed, and you can also catch her with the previous toy chest rundown that we do on every Tuesday. You want to talk a little bit about DST Unboxed before we shift over to news, real quick?
Sure. So DST Unboxed is a awesome show. You're welcome. No. It's an unboxing show where I show you items from Dime Select Toys and Gentle Giant Studios, and it's exclusive to those two companies. And it's great because I get to like really dive in deep, and you get close-ups of everything. I tell you more about either the character, the item, how to get it, and it's just a really fun show. I like toys and statues, so being able to unbox stuff every week and be able to show you guys like some of the detail that you maybe wouldn't see like just looking on a regular website or through a catalog or anything like that, so you get a little more in-depth information.
Absolutely,
And it
absolutely.
comes out every Wednesday, either on Diamond Select Toys or on Gentle Giants YouTube channel.
Mhm.
So,
And I told you this yesterday. I'm going to continue putting it out on Fridays on Previews World's channel
mhm.
as well. So that'll be a thing. It's just been a little
It'd be great
difficult to
because
do.
then you'll
So
make it a Friday.
Friday, there you go. I love Natasha's dad jokes. They're so perfect.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into some news. So blah blah blah. Let's do it.
The news.
The
Right? We
news.
don't
There
have
you go.
Johnny.
Yeah, I was gonna say Riley. Riley
Johnny.
didn't jump in. Riley did
Yeah.
not jump in. Riley, we got anything in the anything any comments yet? Like jumping in there. I know normally we have some the usual suspects. Jeremy
Hi,
Voss saying hello
Jeremy.
everyone. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going?
Jeremy
Nice
Voss.
to see you. Hype. That works.
That's
Says
my husband.
hype. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's my husband, by the way.
Thanks for joining the show. All right, so all right, Natasha. You know, I like every
Yeah.
time you're on the show, I use this as an opportunity to be like, remember this, remember this,
Yeah.
remember that, right?
Well, to be fair, you use it as a remember this, and you have someone that actually does remember this
Yes.
instead of feeling like you're suddenly really old.
Right,
So I appreciate.
right. Getting blank stares
I'm
from
I'm
from
happy
Ashton.
to be your backup for
I
that.
appreciate it. I know you saved me. You saved me in that case.
Yeah.
Because Ashton will just be like, I read about that one
Yeah.
time on the
Yeah.
internet.
Back in the
But
olden days.
back in the olden days, way
Yeah.
back in the 1900s.
Yes.
But yes, actually, I guess this was more like the early 2000s. But you remember Corn? You remember Freak on a Leash, the music
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You remember
Mhm.
that it was directed by Todd McFarlane, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the Todd Fathers doing it again. Just so happens that McFarlane is directing a music video for Ozzy Osbourne, has directed a music video for Ozzy Osbourne,
Mhm.
and it's for his new album, Patient Number 9.
So cool.
And the cool thing about this is actually that McFarlane and Ozzy are teaming up even further with a limited edition Patient Number 9 comic, which is a mini jacket for the CD that's going to be released.
That is so rock and roll.
It
I
is
love
rock and
it.
roll. I love it.
Yeah.
This McFarlane exclusive special edition album package is a previous exclusive variant, so this is actually something you can only get through us guys. And it's
Awesome.
based on Ozzy's, of course, hit album. As I mentioned, it comes with a CD. Look for Patient Number 9 arriving on September 21st at your local comic shop, and it is limited to 5,000 units. So this is going to become a collector's item for sure. I also want to point out for those of you at San Diego Comic Con this weekend, McFarlane and Ozzy are going to be signing at Stern Pinball / Rebellion Republic booth at SDCC. So check your programs and see if you can get in on that because that might be a fun time. Also, I'm excited for this. Like I'm kind of a sucker for these little milestone anniversary issues, and it just so happens that Amazing Fantasy is reaching 1,000. And I know some of you are being like, well, how's that possible? Because they haven't really released that many Amazing Fantasy since 60 years ago. Well, a little bit of number chicanery going on here, but still, 60 years ago,
Chicanery.
right, 60 years ago, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko introduced the world to Spider-Man in the historic Amazing Fantasy number 15. To celebrate this milestone anniversary, a lineup of incredible creators from throughout the comics industry will come together next month in Amazing Fantasy number 1000. We're talking about Kurt Busiek, Rainbow Rowell, Jonathan Hickman, Steve McNiven. I'm talking about Ryan Stegman, Jim Cheung, Terry Dodson, Rachel Dodson, Olivia Coipel, Marco Cicchetto, like just some heavy hitters. Also, this will feature covers by Peach Momoko, J. Scott Campbell, Torrin Clark, who's actually a really great artist, more people should know about, Steve McNiven, and Joe Quesada. And it'll be on sale August 31st. And it seems like this will be an anthology like the original Amazing Fantasy, original Amazing Adult Fantasy, right? So I'd be surprised if it's one story, but yeah, I'm a sucker for this stuff. Like a nice little Spider-Man anthology, out of continuity, just fun Spider-Man stuff. Yeah, count me in. I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. All right, more things going on in the news. So here's a scoop that you won't see at SDCC, right? But because we've got it here exclusively, right? Courtesy of Dark Horse Comics.
Oh, this.
Yes. Kevin Smith has a new series coming out called Masquerade, which is available pre-order at your local comic shop right now. And it's an imprint. It's part of an imprint of Dark Horse Comic called Secret Stash, of course. Kevin Smith's comic shop is called Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. So a little cross-pollination there. But yeah, let Kevin tell you all about it. And when we come back, I'll give you a little bit more detail. Check it out.
There, fellow comic book retailers. It's me, Kevin Smith, owner, proud proprietor of Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, brick and mortar business for 25 years this year. And I'm here to talk about my new comic book that's going to be coming in my store and your stores. You know, as a retailer, we're always like, how do we get new people to come in, start buying comics? How do we get fresh faces into the store, into the business in general? Kids, whether you like me or not, whether you're like, oh, there's that guy that made Batman pee himself in that one book, I put asses in seats when it comes to comic books particularly. And this is my first superhero book / vigilante book. I've written Batman, I've written Daredevil, I've written Hit Girl, but I've never created my own superhero, my own vigilante. And I did that this time with Andy McElfish, my buddy from Edumacation, the podcast I do, and John Sprengelmeyer, man, Captain Ribman himself, our amazing artist, who did a phenomenal job on the book, on one of the covers. One of the other covers is by Francesco Francavilla. It's amazing. We got a Secret Stash exclusive cover by Walt Flanagan from Comic Book Men. So you could get an exclusive cover for your store. Reach out to your Dark Horse reps. Secret Stash Press is brought to you by the good folks at Dark Horse Comics, partnering up with Mike Richardson and friends to bring you comic books, kids. I've been writing them for others for years. Now I'm writing them for me. I've written comic books for Marvel, for DC, for Image, for Oni. Now for Secret Stash Press at Dark Horse Comics. What is our slate looking like? Very first comic, ladies and gentlemen, is called Masquerade. That's my vigilante book with Andy and Captain John. Beautiful artwork, story of revenge. A lot of blood, a lot of bullets, a lot of kicking ass, a lot of masks, a lot of shape-shifting goop that's all over your face, neck, and chest. It's a twisted tale, very violent, and you know, a little funny, but also just very 90s comic book gritty, kids. That's what I like. So Masquerade, well, I can't wait till you meet Felicia Dance, the heroine who secret hero, superhero who hides in plain sight, and has a kill list like you fucking read about. And then after that, a month or two after that, we launch our second Secret Stash Press title, and that's called Quick Stops. And that's an anthology book that takes my characters from all across the Isque universe: Jay, Silent Bob, Dante, Randall, Brody, T.S., Holden, Banky, Bartleby, Loki, all the characters, any of the characters that I've written, and mashes them, mix them up in stories that I would never tell in an entire movie, but work insanely well in a comic book. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm here to save comic book stores. Comic book stores doing fine without me, but I am here to bring more asses into the comic book store. People you've never seen before, man. People who want to spend. Once they're in there, go like, do you guys have this Kevin Smith book? That's when you sell them some quality shit as well. Sell them some good stuff from other people so they keep coming back and they know you as the source for all that is good and whatnot. So, kids, I'm coming. I ain't coming to rescue comic book stores. They're doing just great. But I'm here to give you a helping hand and give myself a helping hand. You better believe we're going to be having signings at my store. If you're interested in having me come sign at your store, talk to your Dark Horse rep. That could be arranged. I'm touring the country September and October, which is right when the book's coming out, with Clerks 3, the convenience tour. So I'm going to be in cities by you, all places. If you've got tickets to the show, you come, you bring a stack of your books that are unsigned. If you have any left, tagging them all for you, man. So you make sure you can fucking whip those out the door. But these books will sell, kids. I've never done a superhero book before. You know, written Batman, written Daredevil, written Hit Girl. Never did my own character. So me, Andy, Captain Ribman, we got ours. It's Masquerade. And I can't wait to share Masquerade with you. Can't wait to share Quick Stops with you. Order big, kids. I'm going to be talking about these books on Seth Meyers, Late Night with Seth Meyers, Colbert Show, every place I do press where I'm talking about Clerks 3, I'm like, oh yeah, man, coming soon is Masquerade and Quick Stops from Secret Stash Press and Dark Horse Comics. Check with your local comic shop for details. And you are the local comic shop in question. I'm going to give you some inside tips. I'm buying 10,000 books. That's huge for us at the Secret Stash. I believe in this in a big, bad way. Number one, I've read the story and I've seen the art. It's pretty wonderful. Number two, it's a number one book by a guy who's written comics for years and stuff, never did his own superhero book. Number three, I have inside dope that guy's probably going to try to take this and turn it into a series. And he's, he ain't talented, but for some reason he can make shit happen, kids. So when that thing goes to series, I'm going to have me a stockpile of fucking number ones to start upselling. That's going to be my wall book, kids. My wall book at my comic book store, Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. I hope Masquerade and Quick Stops, plural, Quick Stops, become wall books at your store. So please, order big, man. It's available right now in previews wherever you order your Dark Horse comics. Masquerade from Secret Stash Press. And then later on, Quick Stops from Secret Stash Press. Brought to you by the folks that are always horsing around at Dark Horse Comics. I'll see you in the funny pages, kids.
What's up? All right. Sorry, I was sitting here. I was laughing at it. We're having a whole private chat that I can't repeat. Anyway. Yeah, he said that was his first creator-owned superhero comic, right? But
Yeah.
isn't technically Blunt Man and Chronic his first creator-owned superhero comic?
I'm going to go with yes.
I'm going to say on a technicality. They did release it.
Yeah,
I think
technicality,
Oni,
yeah.
I think Oni put that out. Like that's
Mhm.
a technicality. Wacky Attacks is hype. But yeah, The Face of Justice is reshaped forever in Masquerade, an exciting new vigilante comic series from writers Kevin Smith and Andy McElfresh and artist John Sprengel Meyer, marking the dynamic debut of Smith's Secret Stash Press imprint with his very own vigilante. And like I said, this is in this month's previews from
Mhm.
from Dark Horse. So ask your local comic shop to pick it up, put it in your pull service, or hold it for you, or whatever your local comic shop does to reserve comics for you. And of course, you can always use previewsworld.com/pullbox if your local comic shop is already participating with Pullbox. That is another easy option for you as well. All right. I think we're gonna do some verses now
Okay, just
because I think we
ADD on your background. Do you have a light cycle on your TV?
what happened?
Do you have
It
a
is,
light
yeah. I do have a light
cycle?
cycle. I'm like this whole room is just. I actually did an Instagram tour of this room recently.
Uh-huh.
Like this whole room is just 40-year-old virgin, I guess, all over it. But
I don't see any glass cases, so you're
right,
snacking
no, I
here.
didn't go that far. Like all my toys are out of boxes. There's only like 4 of them. They're over there. I have this
Uh-huh.
actually ironically enough this robot this thing for robot toys. So
Uh-huh.
and we're gonna get into robots in a second, aren't we? So all right, so I you know what? I'll come back and I'll give some sort of
Sorry.
details on this next topic because yeah, I think this deserves a little bit of explanation, and then I think Natasha and I are gonna argue it out a little bit here. So all right, versus time. All right, so
I look
okay,
so different.
you do. I was going to say, honestly,
I was gonna try to Photoshop your face just onto it, but I didn't have enough time.
I did take photos of me fighting or making a face. So.
that's
I
true.
did
Oh
not
yeah.
have enough time.
Yeah.
Although Natasha's head on Ashton's body would have been pretty hilarious. So
Yeah. It'll look like a pop.
like a Funko Pop,
Yeah.
a little DST, a little toy humor for you guys.
Yeah.
So okay, so Rolling Stone ran this article this week, and I thought this was really fascinating. Just not from coming from a Marvel DC nerd perspective, right? I just thought this was really fascinating. It's in regards to release the Snyder Cut, right?
Yes.
So according to 2 reports commissioned by Warner Brothers, right, and recently obtained by Rolling Stone, at least 13% of the accounts online, social media accounts online that took part in the conversation about Snyder Cut,
Mhm.
were deemed fake. And of course, we're talking about the Justice League movie that was released in theaters, and then ultimately Zack Snyder got to do a 4-hour version for HBO Max several years later. There was a huge push from fans about that, right?
Release the
Uh,
Snyder Cut.
Right, release the Snyder Cut was a thing, but now we're
Yeah.
finding out that like a sizable chunk of the fan support might have been manufactured. So Snyder had scores of authentic flesh and blood fans. I want to point that out. Uh, those real stands were amplified
Not
by
robot.
not robots. Those real stands were amplified by a disproportionate number of bogus accounts. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut went viral in May of 2018 and became the landing hub for efforts to bring Snyder back to the helm of the DC universe. This was at least one point registered to a person. The website, releasethesnydercut.com, was at least registered to a person who also ran a now defunct ad agency, which promoted its ability to bring cheap, instant avatar traffic to your website, which is basically avatar traffic, basically meaning fake accounts, right? As Snyder's demands escalated behind the scenes, including for more money to finish his 4-hour director's cut, so did a flood of attacks aimed at Warner Brothers, even death threats to people like Jeff Johns, who of course is a producer on the DC Universe movies, but also a comic book writer, actually pretty a fan favorite comic book writer. So the big question coming out of this, well, there's a lot of questions coming out of this, but I think the big question for me is, who was giving money to this ad agency that's now defunct? And there's speculation that, did Zack Snyder do this? Was it just like some, like, was it like the AMC thing where a bunch of people on Reddit just decided to troll the internet consistently for several months? Or was it Warner Brothers? Maybe they benefited from this. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a big question. But off the break, I'm just kind of curious what your take is, because I mentioned this to you yesterday, and you're like, "Well, it got released, so what?"
Who cares?
I mean, also,
We got
okay.
the Snyder Cut. We got the Snyder Cut. Cyborg got his justice. Like, no pun intended. It was just an all in all better movie. So however it got there, awesome. Like, Cyborg, the whole thing with the first Justice movie, like, yeah, it was cool, it was entertaining, whatever. But then when you saw the Snyder Cut, it was it was 3 hours, and some of the stuff could have easily been cut out and not needed or sequenced. But like, the storyline and the story arc for Cyborg was so good and so important, and so like, it made the movie like epic, at least for me. And
well, it definitely made it cohesive, yeah.
And it just it made it all make sense more, and whether it was 13% of bots or not, like, we got the Snyder Cut.
You got the Snyder Cut. I mean, look, I will say I did not love the Snyder Cut. I don't think I liked either one of the Justice League cuts, to be honest.
So your opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, I mean, but
if you didn't like the first one,
well, no,
like,
here's the thing, because I do pay for HBO Max and I did watch it, right? So I can have an opinion about this. But you
could.
But I feel how shady that is. Like, whatever.
You totally could.
I totally could. But but beyond that, because here's the thing I find troubling about this, right? And you know it's coming, Natasha, because you get on the show before. You know what I'm going to say.
Yep.
It's the robot factor, man.
Yep.
It destroys. Yeah. So here's my thing, right? It destroys the basic concept of supply and demand. And I've known this for quite some time. It's not like something that this is not some revelatory thing, right? But it does manufacture demand. And I guarantee you that this is not just an isolated incident, right? And we definitely have already seen this played out on a larger scale. Let's be honest here. And I don't know, man. There's a part of me that's just like, I'm going full Morpheus here, but reality isn't reality anymore.
I mean, that is a really good point, and the comment right there on YouTube to also makes a really good point about all the negative stuff that happened during that. But do we know if that's the bot's fault?
Well, I mean, that's the other crazy thing.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a gray area, but we also got the Snyder Cut. So it's very conflicting.
Well, no, I mean, I think you bring up a good
Like,
point, right? Because
yeah.
that's a really interesting question. Because the death threats, for example,
Yeah, that's not okay ever
it's never
from
okay,
robots or humans.
right?
Like,
But here's the
which is
interesting thing,
something I never thought I would say.
right? Yeah, right.
There's a
Um,
sentence.
and that's what I mean. Reality is not reality anymore. But
No.
here's my whole thing too. But it's like it actually kind of it's almost like the chicken or the egg argument now, right? Like, did the humans start the death threats and the robots assisted the death threats, or did the
Mm.
robots start the death threats and the
And
humans
then the
follow
people were
suit?
like, "Yeah, Skynet."
Right. It's so crazy to me, and it's just really interesting. And you know, I know some people just sit here and say like, "Oh, you're just finding out that we're being manipulated." No, but
No.
I think this is interesting that here we have proof of this.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think that's the interesting thing about it. And our conversations, the zeitgeist is being falsified. And I think that's just really wild to me. And it isn't about the quality of the Snyder Cut. I know I came in hot with
Mhm.
I didn't like them either one, but
Yeah. You
it's
didn't
a
like
much
either one. Okay.
it's a much bigger issue, and the Snyder Cut
Yeah.
is a microcosm of this much bigger issue.
Mhm.
So I just thought it was interesting, and it's just really fascinating. And I might ask Ashton about this next week and see what her of the following week and see what her take is, because
Yeah.
you know, because I know she's
Mhm.
in the tinfoil hat category with me with the robots. Meanwhile, Natasha, I'm gonna start searching
I'm a
for.
fan.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, I'm gonna start searching for buttons on the back of your head or something, because you're totally
I
siding with the
am.
bots right now.
What? What?
I thought you were more of a Sarah Connor, and you're not, and I'm disappointed.
I am.
Just
I am.
exactly what a liquid metal robot would say.
Here, I'm gonna knock on this glass, and you're gonna hear it sounds like human knocking on glass,
The
not
human
metal.
are knocking glass. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay, all right. We'll see, but yeah, just really interesting. I saw somebody say, "Rat, this is excellent conversation." Yeah, again, just
Yay.
really fascinating.
I mean, I
Really
get it. I understand. Like, obviously, like we're talking about the death threats. We're talking about all the negative parts of the
Mhm,
bot stuff.
mhm.
But at the same time, like, you have to question, like, did all the bots just kind of dig up and like start the flame of it, and then
Right.
everybody else carried it up,
Mhm,
you know?
mhm.
Or, you know,
Or
or
vice
did
versa.
or did the humans start it and then the bots were like, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
be
No,
consumed by your hate. Yeah.
this algorithmic this
Yeah.
algorithmic hell.
That's the world we live in now. It's with the
Yeah.
internet and everything
Yeah.
else, like,
Yeah.
and keyboard warriors
Yeah. The
and
whole
all
thing,
that. Yeah.
which also might not be real. Let's also, I mean, come on. I'm just saying.
Hey, red or blue pill, buddy. You gotta
Red.
choose one now.
I gotta choose one now.
You
I
gotta
gotta take.
choose one.
Can I take the purple pill? That's red and blue, right?
Nope.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that is.
I was trying to remember my color wheel. I was like, yeah, that's
You know that. Yeah.
all right. So thank you guys. Actually, do we have any more comments? I saw some people might be chiming in. I can't see the comments here, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Tune in just in time. Okay, yeah, you wanted to be part of this conversation. But yeah, no, I just
Mhm.
just very interesting. But I will get off my soapbox because I could be here forever. But this is only an hour-long show.
Yes.
All right, so Natasha,
Yes.
this week's poll. Speaking of, we just did the DCEU, right? Now let's switch over to
Yeah.
the MCU.
Yeah.
We did a poll this week on Free Comic Book Day, and so here's the deal: we're going to need Riley to jump in here and be the tiebreaker for us.
Mhm.
Where's Riley at? And also, where's the poll?
I'm
Here
right
we go.
here.
There's-
All right, Riley. So, all right. I've been seeing a little bit of MCU hate lately. I mean, there's always MCU hate. There's
Mhm.
always MCU
Yeah.
hate.
Always.
But I've been seeing quite a bit of it lately in terms of maybe Marvel has lost the plot after Endgame. Like I'm seeing a little bit of that, right? Now,
Mhm.
I've liked certain things from the MCU after post Endgame. I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier was cool. I really liked that. But I'm curious about your take. Now, Natasha, you haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder.
I have not seen Lord. Sorry, I've had no sleep today. Thor: Love and Thunder. I've not seen it. I did watch Ragnarok on the way here, though. That helps.
Okay.
But that again is pre-Endgame.
Pre-Endgame,
So-
right? Exactly.
Yeah, and
So,
then I mean,
You saw
I don't know.
Doctor Strange though, right?
You mean Doctor Boring? Yeah.
Oh, oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I said that.
I know. I'm surprised by that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I
So,
almost fell asleep.
wow. So let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Do you think they lost the plot, or do we just need to give it time?
I want to be. I'm an optimist, and I have the faith in the Marvel. I want to say just give it time, but as of
Mhm.
right now, I feel like maybe they've lost the plot a little bit.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that. You know, and
Like
I'm actually
like Shang-Chi was post Endgame, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that movie, awesome.
Mm.
Like some of the other things too. I can't even remember right now. No sleep.
Right. Well, I mean,
But
yeah.
that's the point. Like it's not like, oh my god, like that one. Like we bought Shang-Chi. Like we bought,
Mhm.
like oh yes, oh well, that's Spider-Man. That's
Let's
Sony.
post.
So
Let's post it. No,
yeah,
let's post.
but it's
Still
Sony.
MCU.
technically.
That's Sony.
Still it's Sony technically.
I mean, but it's still MCU, and it's
Like
post
I
Endgame.
watched No Way Home on the way here too.
Mm-hmm.
That movie was amazing.
That
by
movie's
the
amazing.
way.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
best. Like it's probably one of my favorites. It's probably
Mhm.
one of my favorite movies
Mhm.
now. Like holy moly, I don't want to say anything in case nobody has seen it. But holy moly, there were so many times that I nerded out. Like I
Oh, yeah.
cried out of like just pure nerd
Nerd joy.
excitement. Yeah. Fully nerd joy in that movie. So many times, like little things, and they did the meme. Come on,
They did.
they
Yes.
did the meme.
They did.
Like
Yes, they did.
I'm
They
all
really did.
spoilers. They did the meme.
No,
Like
I
like
love
I
Spider-Man
legit,
No Way Home.
yeah.
I
Oh,
think
so
Spider-Man No Way
good.
Home is like one of the best out of the last
So
10
good.
plus years.
Oh
It's one of the
yeah,
best things they
so
put out.
good. So
Like I
good.
really think so.
Like I was
But
on the plane and like laughing, audibly laughing because it's so good.
it's good, right? I you
Yeah.
know, I'll be one of those people though. Like I wasn't crazy about Shang-Chi. Definitely did not like Black Widow. I was really disappointed in Black Widow. And God, I'm blanking on everything else that came out. Oh, I rewatched Multiverse of Madness. I like it more the second time I saw it.
Okay, I'll give it a go then.
And I have some pretty strong opinions about Thor: Love and Thunder that I'm not a
I
fan
know.
of. People complain that the MCU
I
follows the
know.
formula. Then when they go a route not easily followed, we got doubters. That is true.
Yeah,
People have been
that's
doubting them since day one. So 100%.
I
Like
think that's fair.
people have been saying
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Oh, that's not going to work. And then it works. They've been saying that for every single movie. So,
Yeah.
all right, Riley, I swear to God, we're going to let you talk.
I mean, my perspective's a lot different because I'm a lot more of sort of a casual MCU fan, where I kept up with them fairly regularly when they were coming out. I didn't see all of them in theaters, but every once in a while I'd go catch one, and then I did see like Endgame in theaters, and that was a really cool experience. But since then, I haven't seen any. I haven't actually seen. I don't think I've seen any of Phase 4, and I think for me, it's like it doesn't. None of it. It seemed like such a great ending that I just don't really know if I need to. At some point, I'm sure I will catch up to them. And I actually have been wanting. I think I will watch Doctor Strange sometime soon because I do really like Sam Raimi's movies. So I'm like, might really enjoy that. But for me, it ended so great that it didn't feel to me like there was much more story to go with. Obviously, there is because they're still making a bunch of movies. So I don't really know. For me, it's been interesting though watching some of the people who I have known to be huge, diehard Marvel fans recently be a little less interested or a little less energetic about it. One of my really good friends who, like I said, is a massive MCU fan, came out of the recent Thor movie very middling, and I was like, this is unexpected. I was not really anticipating that.
And like, look, my opinions are: I love Marvel and I like Taika Waititi. Like, you know what I mean? So, I have no but I was a little surprised by it. I'll stop there because I don't want to sway the jury. But so that's it. Natasha's saying lost the plot. I'm going to say lost the plot. But Riley, what are you going to say?
I think that's fair, and we got a lot of interesting comments here, and I scrolled through to make sure there are no spoilers for anything. But, it seems like a lot of the people who are responding are kind of feeling the same way, saying that aside for a few movies, this person says, aside from Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, it's been a little mediocre since Phase 4.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's more of a slow burn situation. So maybe that's it. Maybe it'll just take a little bit for all these pieces to come together. But yeah, let's go with Lost to Plot.
Okay.
Ooh, wow, that's a little closer than I thought.
So it's still saying give it time for most people. Which I think is fair. You know, I think they could totally wrap all this together into something that's really cool. Like I don't doubt that for a second.
No, well, you know what? Also, you say slow burn situation. Let's also acknowledge that it did take legit like 8 years from us seeing Thanos at the end of Avengers to us actually getting Infinity War. So that's a slow burn.
Yeah,
for sure.
That is
but
true.
There were a lot of peaks and valleys in between, of course.
Yeah, there were hits and misses as it went. So if there are some misses now, I think that should be, expected. Not every movie is going to be perfect.
That's true.
That's also true. We have a Doctor Strange supporter here who's oops, what did I just do? Did it actually come? Did I? Am I actually here?
You're here. I can see.
Okay. Oh God. All right. Well, my tablet decided to open like 18 other windows, so that's a whole nother thing. Anyway,
close your window.
I'll just do it blind. All right. So, all right. Where are we now? We're going to do a comic shop shout out. Actually, yeah. This week's comic shop shout out is brought to you by Natasha. Who's the comic shop shout out this week?
It is my LCS, and it is a great little shop in Arbutus, Maryland, called Universal Comics. It's such a great store. When you walk in there, they make you feel like you have been going there for years. They have a really great kind of sub basement where all the dollar comics are in their long boxes. They have toys in there. They have awesome super collectible comics up on the wall. But it's not huge. It's like a just great size little shop. And everyone that works there is super knowledgeable, super nice. And that's where I go with my family every year for Free Comic Book Day. They always do something fun. And if you are on their newsletter, you get to go the day before. And they usually have a cool Free Comic Book Day fun thing and food. Sometimes they have food trucks, all that kind of stuff. It's just a really great shop. Good people, and that is my pick.
All right, cool. So yeah, a little hometown support there. I like it. So we are going to close out to Universal Comics here in Arbutus, which I love saying Arbutus. I love saying that. Nakia saying Phase 4 is the Iron Man 2 of MCU phases, the whole phase. That's kind of rough.
Yeah,
that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. Yeah. Oh God, I just remembered Iron Man 3. I hated Iron Man 3.
I was just gonna say, you sure it's not Iron Man 3?
No, it's okay.
Did he just cut himself off?
He cut himself off. Like StreamYard said, YouTube said, I do not agree with that opinion.
Yeah. Deleted.
So this is your reminder, guys, to follow, subscribe for more hard-hitting, just mind-melting content like this. You can follow me at Previews World. If Ashton was here, she would say that you could also follow her at Free Comic Book Day. And where can we find you, Cannon Doll X, besides Previews World and Free Comic Book Day?
Yes, yeah, and DST Unboxed at cannondollx.com or at any of the medias of socials from TikTok to Instagram. It's Cannon Doll X. It's pretty easy, on brand. One name. That's all you have to remember. You can just Google it. You could Google it, and then it'll come up. I'm the only one.
You're the only one, which is really impressive, by the way. Yeah, that's actually really impressive.
17 years of having this name.
There you go.
So.
Important. I mean, I think that's kind of the key, right? You kind of have to get in there early, right? You got to get in there like almost like MySpace era. You have to just lock it in.
Yes.
Because my name is kind of a handle in its own way, and because prior to that, I searching for my name, my government name, I just would find a lot of arrest records from the South. And so I was like, not mine. I want to point that out.
Okay.
But so I was like, that's not good for
hold on a second. I got to check something.
Right. a lot of Georgia, which is really interesting. Anyway. So yeah, there's your reminder, follow, subscribe to hang out with us every single week. real quick, Entropy is a new series from Heavy Metal that is dropping. It looks like it's going to be August, so I might have jumped the gun on this interview a little bit. But I know there's been a shipping crisis, so things have been having trouble getting to retailers, your home, you name it, unless it's Amazon for some reason. It's been a problem. Everybody's having trouble with shipping. But Entropy is a new series from Heavy Metal. And so I mentioned Heavy Metal earlier in the show, actually, talking about Fire and Ice and the rotoscoping. This is actually them expanding the Heavy Metal universe based off of the final segment of the Heavy Metal movie, which is the story with Tarna. You've seen the classic image of Tarna on the pterodactyl with her sword in the air charging at you on the cover of Heavy Metal. So they're building a universe around that that's kind of based off of the movie itself, but they've hired Christopher Priest to basically create the Heavy Metal universe's first real supervillain. Christopher Priest, of course, completely redefined Black Panther for the better in the early 2000s. He's done some great stuff with Batman and Deathstroke, some Justice League stuff, and of course recently he also reworked Vampirella and made a really interesting series out of that as well. And so check that out. That's coming to comic shop soon, and there's an interview with Christopher Priest on our website right now. Finally, August 3rd, we are doing Previews World Weekly's 200th episode. And so Ashton will be back for this, and we might have some surprises for you guys. We're going to be going back into the studio for this one, so that's also going to be kind of fun. So definitely keep an eye out that August 3rd, right here, wherever you're watching it, right here. That's what's going to happen. August 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern. Actually, we might even change the time. We might actually move it up. Real Chess says, love your glasses. Where can I find them? Do you want to give them a shout out?
Whoop. I could. It's paireyewear.com. And if you go to my website, I think you can I'll just tell if you don't mind. If you use Natasha032, you can save $25.
Okay. Hey, whoa.
And
$25.
which the glasses themselves are only $60, and then these are start at $20.
Oh, okay, wow.
So
that's actually really good.
Change your look. I have so many. I just got more in too. I got some cheetah print ones for this weekend.
Good. I just saw that work saying 200. Woo! Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, honey.
And so on that note, I think we're done for this episode of Previews World Weekly. We actually managed to bring this in under an hour. Like, we're at 52 minutes.
Which is amazing, because we were getting really excited there for a while.
Yeah, we were getting into the weeds. We got into the weeds on a couple of things.
Yeah.
We really did. Real just saying sweet. So yeah, again, keep an eye out on us for August 3rd, and you can follow both of us online, of course.
Yep.
And that's it for Previews World Weekly, guys. I am one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen, and
I'm Cannon Doll X.
And we will see you all, every last one of you, at the spinner rack. Catch you later. A smile.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.